yeah. Oh, we gon' put your business on display. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, we gon' put your business on display. I got winners on the way. You know you can't knock the hustle. And if you gotta get in place, then we gon' put your business on display. Grab a seat with Nisha for a minute. And if you got the goods, we can talk about your business. She know what it's like to make a move independently. And I don't fake us like that. We've been trusting God like that. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, we gon' put your business on display.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. We Work Wednesday. Nisha here again, 12 noon Central Standard Time, as we are here always putting people's business on display and ministries and family stuff and all that jazz, whatever we want to choose for the week. And so, as you all know, God has been really introducing new relationships with me and new friendships and new opportunities. And so I have had the privilege of meeting this very special guest via Clubhouse. And truth be told, we have a lot in common. And one of the things is that we love the Lord with all our hearts. And so before I introduce her and bring her on, I just want to say, you guys, I am a life and relationship coach. And there are a lot of life and relationship coaches and business coaches and consultants and all these things. But everybody has their own unique calling. And so I want you all to be attentive to know that each and every time I introduce someone to you, no matter if that field falls in the same area, it doesn't matter, because God has designed somebody specifically for you. And so that is why it is so important that to know the relationships were God's idea, and every connection is divine and is His idea. But there's always somebody for you at this appointed time. So my special guest today is none other than Coach Laura White. Hey, Laura. I'm super excited to have you here today. I was telling everybody that we have such kindred spirits because we both love the Lord. We love people. So before we dive off into talking about your business and things, I want you to introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from, where you live, et cetera, family stuff. Give us a little intro about yourself.
You want the dirt on me? No, just joking. Hi, everybody. My name is Laura White. I'm a life and leadership coach, and I am all about, my passion and desire is all about helping others. But a little bit about me is I have been married for 35 years. I was raised in a family of 9. I am the oldest daughter, middle child, and I can tell you, growing up, there was never a dull moment. So I can tell you so many stories that would make you crack up. But the main thing is I'm all about, in a big family, I'm all about relationships. I'm all about connecting people, and I'm all about taking someone from where they are to where they want to go. That is my passion. Everybody has a dream. Everybody has a vision, but sometimes we hit obstacles and we get stuck. And so I love helping people to bring out the calling that God has on their life in them. And so I've been married for 35 years. I have a daughter that's, almost 31 years now. And I'm very, very close to my family, and I'm all about relationships, like Nisha says. And that's why we connected kindred spirits on Clubhouse, because Clubhouse is a place to be, to connect with people. And I absolutely love it. So that's a little bit about me.
Well, thank you so much. Now, I didn't even know you had a big family, because I'm the oldest of 8, but I have an older sister. So it's 9 of us total. But from mom and dad, it's 8 of us. And so I'm the one of the oldest of over 37 grandchildren. So I totally get that. I'm so amazed by that. So that's really exciting to hear one more connection.
I know.
Connected. And you said that you're the oldest daughter, but the middle child?
Yep, the oldest daughter, middle child. So there was a lot of responsibilities, and if we get into it, I'll share some things of where I am today because of that. But yeah, the oldest daughter. So I had a lot of responsibilities of being the oldest daughter, doing more than any other child in the house. So Yeah.
Well, I totally understand that. So we're going to dive into why we're here today. And I know it's very important, as I was sharing, that everybody has a certain specific calling. And what I love that you said was you love to hear where people are and where they want to go, and you help them get there. So before we dive into how you actually do that through your life and leadership coaching, I want you to talk to me about why you felt like God called you to be a life and leadership coach. What prompted that whole opportunity and business experience?
Oh, that is a good question, Nisha. Well, when I was growing up, being the oldest daughter and having the most responsibility there was in the house, I grew up very fast. I tell people at the age of 12, I could do everything but drive a car. So I learned very fast. There was a lot of responsibilities on me. I went to college. From college, I went into sales for 25 years. But in that, and I did very well, and I'm talking 15, 20 years, I was making six figures, and it was really good money. This was what I was going to do for the rest of my life. I was good at it. I could do it in my sleep because I know how to connect with people and close the deal and talk to people. But the last transition of the last 4 years in the business that I was in doing sales, God was stirring something in my heart as far as going into helping people. But let me back up by that statement. Ever since I can remember in middle school, people always came to me. What do you think about this? My brothers would come to me. And to this day, being the middle child, everybody still comes to me. And so growing up, everybody coming to me and asking me questions. Then going into sales, everybody goes, well, how do you do it? And how do you make these so many sales? And then going with the company and helping hiring people and training them. And it kind of just started as young as a little kid all the way to now, where people drew on me and asked me questions and helping them to go to the next level. And why are they stuck? And why isn't the relationship working? Or what's going on with the mindset? So that's kind of where it stemmed from, Nisha, is all the way back to when I was growing up.
So something prompted my memory while you were talking. I think about me personally, how I appreciate the people that sell me a car. I appreciate pharmaceutical sales reps and insurance agents, but I don't particularly care for sales. And I'm in an industry where I have to sell myself, of course, in the hair care industry. So how do you feel about that? Are you the kind of person, even though you were in sales, you get to the point, but you don't have the patience, or do you have the patience for people to walk through their sales? That's something I'm always, because a lot of coaches that I know, they like you to get to the point. They're good listeners, but they like you to get to the, let's get to the side of obtaining what you're needing. And so sometimes people can kind of miss the listening point because of trying to sell you. So tell me a little bit about how you really feel about sales, even being in sales. Because some people don't have to sell themselves. Some people just are who they are, like you said. They're drawn to you.
Right.
So tell me a little bit how you feel personally about sales.
Okay. Well, personally about sales, I really get into it because the
fact
really? I do. Okay, but hear me out. I'm all about relationships. So growing up, even way back then, I didn't say this, but growing up in a big family, there was a lot of love. I mean, lots of love and hugs and stuff. But my dad had issues of anger. He was an alcoholic, but not a drunk. It would be one drink that would change his personality. So way back then, I studied people. Why do people act the way they do? Why do they react? How do they respond? I was intrigued. And so I read books and went to workshops. And so as far as back as I can remember, I would be intrigued about relationships. So because of that, way back then, and learning all about the DISC, which is a personality behavior assessment, I get to study why people act the way they do, why they're wired the way they do. And when you understand a person, and I could pretty much, what I teach people in less than 5 minutes, 3 minutes, I can teach you how to talk to that person, how you can figure out what personality they are so you know how to address them in sales. Some you can push, some you don't. Some you better get right to the point, and some you better give every detail before they make a decision. So I'm really fascinated with the different personalities. And that's why I loved it, because I would let me see if I can get to this person. But I'm not about a pushy. I'm about letting them like me, trust me, understand what I'm selling, and then sell them. So does that make sense, Nisha?
It totally makes sense. And I think that one bonus to being in sales, or one bonus to being a coach, is to be a kingdom coach, because you
Yes.
get the discernment of the Holy Spirit, not only by listening to them, but what they have to say. Would you
Yeah.
agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because I'm always, even the first thing when I wake up in the morning, before I even touch this cell phone, it's like, God, who do you want me to touch today? Who do you want me to speak to? What do you want me to do today? Because I have my list of agenda, but God might say, don't want you to do any of that. I want you to go this different route. So I even say, okay, God, how do you want me to approach this person too? So yeah.
Right, right. That's so good. So tell us about the name of your business and when you actually started and launched it.
Okay, thank you so much. I don't know why, but I must have got makeup in my eye and it's tearing like crazy. So pardon me.
That's okay.
Okay, so I
We're
started
real
my,
life here. That's the best part about it. We're
this
real
is the
life.
way it
We
is.
don't
Sometimes
want
you
anything
just get makeup in the
official.
eye.
We just want regular, real life people. So come on, girl.
Yeah, for real. Okay, guys. So I was a coach probably 5 years before I even knew there was a thing called coach and you get paid for it. I mean, I would mentor people for a year at a time and just speak life into them. And then I started my business in 2015 and I named it Life Coach Laura White. And so that's why all my taglines are life and leadership coach, because of the fact that I've already established my credibility as a life coach, but I do both. So my website and all my social media is Life Coach Laura White. That's where you're going to find me. But my company is LW Consulting Inc. And so my passion in my business is to empower, equip, and encourage women, high performance kingdom women leaders, to overcome obstacles and to be able to get unstuck and go to the next level. A lot of times they are like, I don't know why I can't go to the next level, or something's holding me back and I don't know what it is. We call it the blind spot. And so I help them figure that out, because I believe that God wants you to prosper in everything that you do, including your business. And he wants to take you to the next level. He wants everything for you, but we have not because we ask not.
Yeah.
And so that's what I help women do. I do work with men too.
Okay.
But the key thing is I love to take people to the next level and find out what they're missing, what's not working. And then sometimes it might even go into letting go of the past. It might even go into mindset. And it also might even be going to, I help people how to hear God's voice. So that's a little bit of what I do.
Yeah, that's really awesome. And I know that it has to be a personal journey that people want and desire. So I'm gonna ask you a personal question, because I know so many of us pour out. What do you personally do in terms of your mentorship? Who's your mentor? Who's your coach? And I don't want to say who isn't a person, but what do you do to get fueled back up as a coach?
Good question. Well, first of all, I'm always connected to God. He's definitely my source of everything. But I definitely believe, and you are who you hang around with, the 5 different people. So I have people in my life that we mentor each other, we talk, but I'm also part of a mastermind. I believe so much in masterminds, where you are encouraging each other, building each other up, and helping you find out some of the things that we are stuck in or that we don't see. It just at that time of, and it's just a real small niche people in that mastermind that are really helping each other in life and in business. But I also have my own mastermind, and that's where you really grow. You've heard this saying, Nisha, I know you have. What you learn in 1 year in a mastermind, you could never do on your own in a lifetime. That's how much you learn in a mastermind.
True. And I personally understand that. And I love mastermind. I kind of liken Clubhouse to one big mastermind unit, because you can dive into different rooms and you can really kind of grasp and sit back and listen. You don't always have to lead. Everybody is not just supposed to just always be the leader. There needs to be the leader needs to listen. The leader needs to know how to receive as well as to give. So I think that's pretty amazing. So I want to ask you about some of the rewarding things and where you have seen people stuck and you've watched them to grow. What has that experience been like for you, and what transformations have you seen in individuals?
Oh my goodness. I guess I would say the biggest thing would be is don't let your history interfere you with your destiny. Because the key thing, a lot of people bring their past into their future. And a lot of people get stuck on their
Wait,
mindset.
hold on. Let's say it again.
Okay.
Don't let your history.
Don't let your history interfere with your destiny.
That is so good. That's
But-
the say-loud moment. Let's pause.
okay.
Let's pause right there. No, I'm just messing with you. That is really a pause, and really hold into that, because so many people do stay stuck. So go ahead and finish that thought.
No, and it's so true, because I mean, I work with CEOs, business owners, have their own companies. I mean, major managers, and they're like, I just don't know what's going on. And that's what happens. Number one, not always, but a lot of times it is the past. I didn't forgive someone, or I didn't let go of the past. You know, when I grew up, even though we had a loving family, I always was, am I going to get hit? Am I going to get yelled at? Those are a couple things that I had to deal with, but God brought me all of that. And it helped me understand the relationship that my dad didn't let go of his past. So he carried his childhood into his marriage and into the family. And so if he would have gotten help or figured out why he was so angry all the time, then it would have been a lot different. So that's one. The second thing is people, it's their mindset. You know, they're like, well, I'm not good enough or whatever. I don't care what your past is. I don't even care what your IQ is. It's what you do with the knowledge that you do get. Because listen, I mean, I didn't finish college. I did go to college and got a degree, but I didn't finish what I wanted to. And so it doesn't matter what education you have. There's so many good coaches out there that never had any college. But it's what you do. And that's why, if you see in the background, that's just a little bit. I have a wall full of books. Is books, learning. I'm a knowledge junkie. And so the mindset is a key thing about, what are you believing? Do you see the vision? Do you believe in the vision? Do you have faith? Are you asking God to help you each step of the way? So a lot of time it's the mindset of what we believe about ourselves. I knew way back when that I was destined to prosper. My family lived mediocrity. But I knew that I was destined for more. And I just sought God and got around people and read books. And I knew that there was more out there. And that's what I did with my life. So those are two of the issues. Three would be God too. So absolutely.
So here's a question, but before that you answer that question, I want to put this question out there as well. I want to go back to, after you answer this question, to the importance of, because, you know, we're taught that counseling is totally different from coaching, and I want to go and dissect that. But the question is, what are some ways people do this subconsciously, that they let the history interfere with their destiny? What are some ways that people do this subconsciously? Can you kind of share and hit on?
Yes, absolutely. Well, first of all, it might have been either a sibling or a parent that said, you're not smart enough, you're dumb, you're not good enough, you're too fat, oh, you're not good for college. It's those small little voices that we hear. And what happens is everybody has experience in life, whether they be hurt, traumas, an event. And then what we do is we actually take it in and we believe it, because the belief is a truth. But the truth that you believe in might not be the accurate truth. It's the truth that you believed and you took in. So what happens is the experiences that you have this belief, and then you expect it, and then you behave it. So it's like your core belief, and it goes around and around and around. Well, no, it doesn't matter what anybody said. Doesn't matter what you did. I don't care if you're a drug addict, whatever. That's not who you are today. Tomorrow's a different day, and say, that's what it was, but I'm starting a new leaf, a new thing on life. And just getting out of that core belief, that core pattern that we keep doing over and over. It doesn't matter what anybody said. It didn't matter what you did. You are different today. And today is a whole new life, a whole new journey that you can start on. And that's what I love to help people with.
That is so good. If you guys have just tuned in, we're here with Coach Laura White, life and leadership coach and consultant, and she is here dropping some amazing nuggets. And if you all want to contact her, we're going to put the website up on the screen. To especially leaders, I think it's very important to tap into what Laura has, women, but also men, you guys. And so I want to, there are a few more questions I want to add that are being asked, but one of the things I want to hone in on is, You just because you believed it does not mean it's an accurate truth.
No.
And so what I would like to ask you is, so do you think it's important that people tackle and get counseling from that thought process of what the lie that the enemy fed them? Do you think that people really need to dig deeper and get to the root of that before they enter into coaching? Or do you think coaching alone can allow some development of healing as well?
Oh, that's a good question. It depends on the level. And what I do is when I give my free consultation, I will figure out, and in the discernment of God, whether this person needs to go counseling first, and then I coach them. Now, I'm different. I'm a different kind of a coach because I'm led by the Holy Spirit, number one. Number two is because for the first 5 years of my company, I was pretty much a life coach and helping people get freedom. Everybody hears the freedom conferences that churches have and stuff. Well, I walk people through that and helping them how to forgive, how to let go, changing the mindset, what God's saying, and who you are in Christ. So now that, I've transitioned somewhat into a leadership, but I meet people where they're at. It depends on the level of what they need. If it's something, just the mindset and what they're believing, then I can work with them because that's what I've been trained in and have my license because I'm also licensed as a life coach in that area. But if it's deep, which we're talking like addiction to alcohol or addiction to drugs or, something like that, something really deep, I would recommend that they go to counseling. But if it's something just a belief of something that they've been believing for years, I can help them through that. A lot of times we get stuck because of not forgiving others.
Yeah.
People don't understand, and we're not going to go into today, but there are different levels of what forgiveness is and isn't. And I go through that in my session because people are like, I had one person say, Nisha, they go, well, I still remember, so I guess not, I haven't forgiven them. Well, they didn't understand forgiveness. And so I teach them that about what forgiveness is and isn't and how to get through it, because a lot of people think that, or they were so hurt, someone really did them something wrong. Well, if I forgive them, then what I'm saying, what they did was okay. So I'm not going to forgive them. That's not the case.
No.
But we can go deep, but that's just one of the areas too. So
if you need to go deeper, you guys, you need to get in touch with Laura White Coaching, LW Consulting Incorporated, so that you can receive that clarity and freedom and confidence and direction that you need. So definitely reach out to her. I want to talk to you about a practical life lesson that you've basically learned, and that as you have been coaching people and even through your life experiences, but since you've been doing this tapped into the coaching piece and made it a profession, what are some of the practical life lessons you've learned?
Well, the first thing is, I don't think everybody needs a counselor, but I think everyone needs a coach. Okay. And I never, ever go without a coach. It might be for a season for something like, social media. It might be help me find some of my roadblocks, maybe help me to go to the next level. And I believe having a coach will propel your life so much faster, because I believe a lot of people can do it on their own. But what happens is it will take so much longer, years. What we have been trained in, and I'll speak for myself, the courses, the books, the other coaches that I've had, what I've learned in these 10, 20 years, what I will be able to pour into you would take you years and years to figure out, where I could propel you to the next level in 3 months, Coaching, each person comes to the table different. I have packages, I have mastermind classes and stuff, but we don't have a magic wand. We can't change you in 1 to 2 sessions, because you have to say, how old are you and how long did it take you to get there? It's going to take me a little while to unwire and reprogram your brain and your mind and your thinking. But I think the biggest thing would be number one is connect with a coach. Number two is you are who you hang around with, the 5 people. So you want to go to the next level, then be with someone that you can learn from. If you are realizing that you're giving all the information, you're in the wrong group. And hear me out. It's like, how'd you do that? Or how'd you learn that? It's like, go be in a group that they're 2 steps ahead of you. Always 2 steps. And when you reach that level, then go with someone that's 2 steps ahead of you. And that's where you're always learning. And the third lesson is the past is the past. I really, really share that with you because I don't care. I don't care if the people are making millions of dollars and they hire me. They always get stuck to the fact that they hear this voice or they're comparing themselves, or I heard this voice and they said I did this, and they're stuck on that. And it's let it go. Today's different. The future is different. So
that is so rich. I'm taking notes in my brain. I can't take them literally, but I am taking notes. Because well, I could go on and on, but I won't. I'm allowed the questions to be asked. Question was, what made you confident that you were destined for more? What made you confident?
Well, when I was in middle school and I knew that, the struggles that my parents and all of us as a family had, living paycheck to paycheck, I just knew, I guess I've always been in church and I just knew that God was speaking in my spirit saying, there's more, there's more. I have a destiny. I have a calling on your life to help people and to make a difference in their life. And as an early age, that was always in my spirit. That would be one. And then two, I just knew that I could help more people. I knew that my dad struggled. And this is the key thing, Nisha, that I've never mentioned. In coaching, my heart and desire and passion is really to help people to produce or to help their vision come alive, because we all have it. But people just get stuck and they hit these roadblocks, like, I don't know what to do next, or I have this mindset or whatever. And I've just seen too many people, even in my family, that just have this mindset, well, I'm not good enough, or it's not going to happen for me. It's going to happen for them. They have all the resources. No, it can happen for you. I get so excited helping people and saying, yes, you can do it. What's your vision? Let's write it down and let's make a plan and let's go forward and get that vision in reality. And so that's what I love to do, is take people and just help them, because you're here for a reason. Thank goodness we're not all the same. Thank goodness everybody's not like me, but I want to help you to get to that next level.
Wow. Coach Laura White, you guys, this has been a really rich conversation. I want to say, if you want to connect with her, lifecoachlaurawhite.com. You guys reach out to Laura. Laura, what state are you in?
I'm in Tampa, Florida, and I've lived here my whole life, but I've traveled a lot, but lived my whole life. Yep. Florida.
You know what? The best part about virtual right now is that you don't have to be in the Chicagoland area to reach out to Laura. You can reach out. Virtual coaching has become a very common thing. And so we're super excited about that. I'm so grateful you came today. I want to, there was another question I have for you.
Well, while you think about that, I have to give you two hoots. Nisha is awesome. When we connected on Clubhouse, you have got to follow her. She really is a good connector. And we're actually going live tonight at 9:00 Eastern on Nisha's network on Clubhouse. But she is just so fabulous, really connecting with people. And she has a heart of gold. And so make sure you follow her too.
Thank you, Laura, so much. I appreciate that. And what I love is that God is expanding our territory and enlarging it. The prayer Jabez, he's enlarging our territory and making us known around the world. So I guess the last question would be, is out of all the things you've accomplished, what stands out as the one thing you're most proud of?
The one thing I'm most proud of, oh goodness, I love helping individuals and everything, but there's something about marriages, because I've been married for 35 years. And really, when people get to understand how they behave and how they act, and really understanding the differences, because hear me out, most of the time, when you get married, you marry the opposite because you're attracted. True. But after about 3 to 5 years, you're like, oh my gosh, what did I see in them? But helping them to realize, yes, you were destined together, but let's work it together. So helping save marriages, I really love. I mean, I was working on marriages just alone, and I've branched out to leadership, but I still help marriages, but really saving those marriages in people's eyes, and their expressions come alive and they just fall madly in love. I mean, I've had people sit in my chair and go, if this session doesn't work, we're getting a divorce tomorrow. I'm like, well, good. That means you're ready to work.
That is so rich, Laura. And you know what? I want to say this because I know that a lot of people have experienced a lot of things in relationships and been frustrated. And so interesting. This conversation came up recently. And so I'd like to offer those hope and I'm going to let you do it. I like to offer those hope who are waiting to be married and have struggled with relationships throughout the years and have never tapped into marriage or never tapped into the trust factor or the healing factor of past bad relationships. How can you offer them some hope today?
You know, first of all, here's a good one. I was going to say God, and that would be the first one, but I want to give you tangible stuff. So God's good is seek God. When you're desperate, that's when you're ready to listen, and God's going, great. Now you surrendered. Now I can start talking to you, and you're going to listen. But that would be one. But the other thing is, what's your vision for your marriage? Do you want to save your marriage? Do you want your marriage to work? So hear me. Write it down. I want my marriage to survive. God, what do you want to show me about my marriage? Because we're always like, because I did it too, God, you need to work on him. You need to work on him. But God's going to go, well, I need to work on you. So when you surrender, he's able to work then. So
yes, and there is a full surrender, you guys. So super excited about this interview today with Coach Laura White, my new friend that God connected us. And so are there any last words that you would leave with someone that would encourage them if they were interested in either seeking a coach or actually becoming a coach?
Well, first of all, I don't care where you are at. I coach people all over the world. Reach out to me. Go to my website, Life Coach Laura White. Down at the very bottom, there will be a link that you can go book like a boss. Put your name and number on there and book a free discovery, because what do you have to lose? It could change your life forever. I want to encourage you. You have a dream. You have a calling on your life. Let me help you get to that destiny, because God put that in you, and that's in you. And a lot of people are like, I'm just doing my day-to-day job. So I want to end with, you have a dream, you have a vision, and people need to hear your voice. And I want to help you get there.
You have a dream, you have a vision, and Laura can help you get there, you guys. So definitely tap onto lifecoachlaurawhite.com. Thank you so much, Laura, for being my special guest today. I look forward. You guys share. And guess what? It's not over for Nisha's Network today. We have vegan teas, chef teas from Vegan Teas in Orland Park, Illinois, coming up next. And then we have my very own daughters with Destiny Dance Company a little bit later. So back to back today, you guys. But thank you so much, Laura. I really appreciate you and the God connection. Okay.
It was an honor to be here, and thank you for inviting me, Nisha.
Okay, hold on, Laura. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Tune in about 15 minutes.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Oh.